You're watching ABC7 News at 6.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter. Scott Dennis has the night off. Our top story this hour, a push for Manatee County EMS to change its policy after a man's dead body is left on the side of the road for hours. Tonight, EMS and Manatee County Sheriff Rick Wells announced plans to come up with a solution. ABC7's Jess Dowdrick joins us live from Manatee County EMS tonight with the latest. Jess?
Good evening, Jacqueline. The community has been outraged after learning that a 78-year-old man's body was left on the side of the road by EMS with a sheriff's deputy after he suffered a massive heart attack and died on the side of the road. His body laid there for about 3 hours, according to the family. And now tonight, EMS is looking for solutions.
There he was, just laying in the street.
After Julie Ross bravely shared her tragic story with ABC7, it's now sparking the change she hoped it would.
What if somebody died at the mall? Would they just leave him there?
Ty Ross was on his morning walk with his dogs in late February when he had a heart attack and died on the side of the road at the Palma Sola Marina. According to Manatee County, EMS was on the scene for an hour after failing to revive him, then left to make themselves available if another call came in.
It seems like if that is the EMS protocol, that it should be looked at on a case-by-case basis.
That protocol, or lack thereof, is now being examined. According to the Director of Public Safety, Bob Smith, quote, currently EMS does not have a policy that differentiates death in public or private locations. If EMS responds to a call and the death is determined to be of natural causes, Smith says then it's protocol to turn the situation over to law enforcement. That's what happened in Ty's situation. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office isn't in the business of removing bodies. Its role is to stay on scene until the body is either removed by EMS, the coroner, or a funeral home. That's what they did in Ty's case. Stayed until Griffith Klein Funeral Home removed the body. According to the Sheriff's Office, deputies have no authority to tell EMS whether or not it can leave a scene. Now, Smith says, quote, both EMS and MSO have agreed to come up with a solution that improves public perception and provides the respect owed to deceased victims in Manatee County. On Tuesday, Sheriff Rick Wells and EMS Chief Paul DeSicco will meet to start the conversation of how best to handle situations like that of Ty Ross. I talked to officials from Sarasota County EMS today, and they handle things the same way that Manatee County says they do. If a body is dead on the road, they will turn that case over to law enforcement. Now, if you want a full explanation of how right now Manatee County handles these kinds of situations, visit our website, mysuncoast.com. Reporting live in Manatee County, Jess Dowdrick, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Okay, Jess, thank you for that update. In Charlotte County, a suspected drug dealer is in jail tonight because of a traffic stop. Charlotte County deputies arrested a man after finding bags of meth in his pockets while stopping him for not having his seatbelt on. He then led them to the location of two other men suspected of dealing drugs out of a storage unit. Deputies found almost 60 grams of meth in that storage unit and arrested the other two men under trafficking charges and possession with intent to sell. A drug investigation during a traffic stop yesterday led to that arrest. A long-awaited affordable housing project in Venice is finally moving forward. The Venice Housing Authority was given the clearance to begin Phase 2 of the Venetian Walk community. The first phase was built several years ago, but the second phase was never funded. The $11 million project will largely be funded by a state of Florida program to help build low-income housing. That 52-unit complex will be open to families who are working but struggle to make their rent.
I had 3 phone calls on my phone when I came in this morning from people that are either homeless or about to be homeless or just can't make it anymore.
Construction is set to begin in early of 2019 with the first of 5 buildings opening in March of 2020. Well, today was the kickoff of the Flying Scot Midwinter Championships. It's a biannual sailboat race hosted by the Sarasota Sailing Squadron. The 61 participants hit the water for day 1 of the Full Circle course today. The winner will have the best times after completing the race every day until Thursday. Her father and son, Zeke and Jay Horowitz, it's not just about the competition, it's also a great time for them when it comes to bonding. But the duo and last year's champs are also pretty good at it as well.
It's all about gaining the extra inch over the course of a 3/4 mile beat. But there's a lot of tactics and strategy that comes into play as far as the wind shifts and what side of the starting line you want to be on and kind of staying out of traffic from all the other boats. There's 60 boats that are going to be racing on the same course, so kind of staying out of everyone's way is a key for sure.
The races began today and will end at about 4:30 or 5 o'clock every day until Thursday. And speaking of those boat races, certainly some nice weather here on the Suncoast. Let's check in with Steve Newman, who is filling in for Bob Harrigan. Steve?
Yeah, Jacqueline, I've been watching those boat races since I grew up on Lido Key as a kid in the 60s and 70s. It's always a great thing to see, and they're getting some decent weather, good winds out there to fill those sails. And those winds are blowing in all the way across the state from the Atlantic as a cool front has passed by. It really came in the back way, so it didn't really bring us a pool of cool air, but it did up to the north. And those showers you're seeing in the eastern part of the state are just dissipating as they approach us, so it'll be a dry evening. In fact, at best, a partly cloudy night tonight, and it's going to be mild. Here's our future radar showing those showers just not really making it much further on with a strong easterly wind. And if you're heading out of the town tonight, temperatures slowly cooling off through the 70s as we move through the evening hours. I'll have a complete forecast showing that this is pretty much what we're going to be getting for the next several evenings in just a few minutes. Jacqueline.
Thank you. Months after more than a dozen seniors died from lack of air conditioning at a Florida nursing home facility, Governor Rick Scott wants to make sure it never happens again. Governor Scott signing legislation today requiring emergency generators at all state nursing homes so that the temperature cannot rise above 81 degrees. Under this new law, nursing homes and assisted living facilities must have an alternative power source to keep electricity running for a minimum of 96 hours after a facility loses power. According to the new House bill, the new requirements will cost existing nursing homes $145,000 for a new generator and $4,500 in yearly maintenance. But Pines of Sarasota says that number seems to be on the low end.
Every half a year we do a major and minor tune-up. We also run our generators constantly. So every year, just from running our generators and testing them, we use about $12,000 worth of fuel.
The bills signed today come after 12 seniors died from heat exposure at a South Florida nursing home in the days following Hurricane Irma. All existing nursing homes in the state must have its plans implemented no later than June 1st, the start of hurricane season. And along with the generator mandate, Governor Rick Scott also signing 73 more bills into law, including a tax cut package, the daylight saving bill, and a bill that prevents most minors from getting married. The bill includes an exception for 17-year-olds who have written consent from their parents or guardians, and they cannot marry people who are more than 2 years older than them.
The terrible, awful life that I had inspired me to speak for others. I'm a voice of those that are afraid to talk, a voice of those who cannot talk because of the pain.
In total, the legislature passed 195 bills during this year's session. Scott has signed 154 into law. To date, he has not vetoed any bills. Still to come on your Suncoast News, a surprising statistic about women in online degrees in Florida, and local leaders want something done to increase school safety in Sarasota. A look at some of the plans that may be implemented as soon as this school year.
In life after the military, it's our duty as veterans to have each other's back. I'm retired Colonel Greg Gatson, and it's my mission to help you get the benefits and services you've earned. If you need to file a VA claim, remember these important steps. Submit an online claim through ebenefits.va.gov. Work with an accredited Veteran Service Organization, or VSO. And if you need to attend a VA claim exam, please go. Visit this website to learn what to expect.
So Matt told me to meet him at 7 a.m. sharp right here. It is now 7:01 a.m. You think Matt will leave without me? Hey, is Matt here?
Long gone.
Long gone.
Just missed him.
Just missed him.
All done.
Mr. Sparky guarantees they're on time and the repair is free, so chop chop.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Matt, you started without me.
I finished without you, too.
Car experts and customers agree there's a lot to love about a new Subaru. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Forester is an IIHS top safety pick for 12 years running. Now, lease the most award-winning small SUV, a new Subaru Forester for just $219 a month. Or get 0% financing with 0 down during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Our nation's servicemen and women show great courage and leadership, both on and off the battlefield. When they transition to civilian life, they can apply the skills and values they learned in the military to the workplace. That's why the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is urging employers everywhere to be smart, bet on a vet. Hiring a veteran is also a great way to show your appreciation for them. To learn more, call 1-888-44-SALUTE.
More women in Florida are looking to earn their degrees online. This according to a new report from FSU's Board of Governors. 65% of undergrads that got their degrees online last year were women. Online classes are now becoming more popular in general. A fourth of Florida State graduates say that they have taken an online class, and those who did were more likely to earn their bachelor's degree faster and with a better GPA. Doggy parents, listen up. 2 types of Milo's Kitchen dog treats are under a voluntary recall. The steak grillers with Angus steak and the grilled burger bites have a higher than normal amount of thyroid hormone. Dogs eating high levels of beef thyroid hormone could have symptoms like increased thirst and urination, weight loss, increased heart rate, and restlessness. If you're feeding any of these foods to your pets, you should stop immediately. Well, stay with us. Steve Newman will have a look at your first alert weather forecast when we come back.
Get to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota for big savings during the spring sales event and shop the area's largest selection of 7-passenger vehicles. Get KBB's 2017 Best Buy Award overall winner, the Chrysler Pacifica, for just $23,999. Or get off-road capability with the comfort of an SUV in your new Jeep Compass for just $17,999. Drive away in a new Dodge Journey for as little as $16,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
Dear parents, it's time for a pop quiz. What's the best kind of play for kids? Play that makes us think? Or helps us pretend? Or teaches us rules? Or to be creative? Actually, every kind of play is important because different kinds of play give us different kinds of skills. Help us mix up the ways we play. Okay, class dismissed. Now go play.
Florida Studio Theater presents Blue Suede Shoes, celebrating the birth of rock and roll. From the father of rock and roll, Chuck Berry, to the king himself, Elvis Presley, this musical review features such great hits as Rock Around the Clock, Mustang Sally, Johnny Be Good, and of course, Blue Suede Shoes. Critics are calling Blue Suede Shoes a burst of rock history, dynamic and high voltage. Audiences are calling it phenomenal. Blue Suede Shoes has been held over by popular demand. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking a digital sales manager with at least 3 years experience in digital revenue development. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply.
Breaking news just into our newsroom. An accident on Minnesota Key Road in Inglewood has both north and southbound lanes closed. 2 motorcycles were involved in that crash and a truck also involved. We will have more details on that accident as they arrive into our newsroom. You can also get updates on our website at mysuncoast.com. Certainly causing some traffic delays in that area.
Bob's off, so I'm in for him all week, and it's a great time to be off and enjoy this beautiful Suncoast weather.
Right.
It's not as dry as it was last week. A little moisture in there, you can kind of feel it. And if you're out on the bay enjoying the sailboat regatta, which is just to the right of frame here from this picture looking at the bridge over towards City Island, a great day for that. They're getting plenty of wind in their sails and great temperatures too. I want to thank all our viewers that send in pics to pics@mysuncoast.com, including Dale Kemberling, who sent in this picture of the Pirates-Phillies game at Lecom Park today, and they're winding down the spring season all across Florida. So this is the next to the last day for the Pirates. They play tomorrow in Clearwater. University and Honore, this with the low clouds and fog hanging around before dawn, thanks to Dee Pepper for taking this picture and sending it to us on the way to work this morning. And in Nokomis Beach, what a beautiful sunset. Lillian Bosco, thank you so much for sending that in. Pics@mysuncoast.com. We love getting pictures from you. We'll try and use them on the air. 84 at the airport right now at SRQ. 60 is the dew point. It's up, but it's still comfortable. When it gets in the upper 60s and 70s, it gets a little muggy. So we're liking that weather right now. And the 24-hour temperature change, we got a backdoor cold front that came this way over us. So we didn't get the brunt of the cool air, but boy, they did up in the Panhandle in North Florida and even along the Atlantic coast and across our viewing area. In fact, some spots of Manatee County, a good part of Manatee County, 10 to 11 degrees warmer now than we were last night. About the same, it's a wash. And because of clouds coming in from the Atlantic, Highlands County a little cooler than we were at 6 o'clock yesterday. Now we're looking at these clouds moving across the state, puffy cumulus clouds beginning to thin out as the sun gets lower in the sky. And the rain associated with it is also thinning out as it moves across the Sunshine State. But it's been fairly dreary and damp along the Atlantic today. We had by far the better weather here. Talk about bad weather. This is a threat of severe thunderstorms from the Storm Prediction Center. A marginal threat of short-lived tornadoes, more like thunderstorms, damaging winds, and hail across the heart of Texas. And we're seeing a lot of snow there, but it's mainly this part of the country that's under the threat of severe thunderstorms from Abilene up to Wichita Falls. And it certainly got a lot of heat there with temperatures in the 80s. Here's our futurecast showing that front that came through the back way, producing really nothing more than an easterly wind flow. High pressure building in behind it is going to continue that wind flow right on through the next couple of days. Out on the water, east winds 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 feet. Bay and inland waters will have a moderate chop. 80 degrees of beach temperature tomorrow. Doesn't get much better than that in late March. Here's my forecast for tonight. We'll have partly cloudy skies with our low temperature of 64 degrees. Tomorrow, a mostly sunny day, a few clouds here and there. 83 the high temperature. And here's the good news for the rest of this spring break week. Breezy. You know, we get a lot of breezes across the country in March. We're notorious for that, and we're going to see a lot of that as the week goes in. The next chance of rain coming in Friday night into the early hours of Saturday. Sunday, Easter Sunday, looks picture perfect, and next week continued dry weather. I wish we could get some rain, but we got one little shot, and that's Friday night, Saturday. Jacqueline?
Okay, thank you, Steve. Governor Rick Scott is getting a first-hand look at the wildfires burning in Collier County. Governor Scott met with firefighters in Southwest Florida this morning to tour the damage. Firefighters have been battling 4 separate brush fires in the area since last week. 2 of those fires sparked by lightning. This morning, a part of Alligator Alley was closed because of heavy smoke from a brush fire. Governor Scott says he will be in communication with local officials and offer any support that they need. Schools across Florida are getting instructions on what changes need to be made and when to upgrade security procedures. Governor Rick Scott sent a letter to districts statewide detailing his expectations, and it includes a timeline. By May 1st, the State Department of Education will hire a director for its newly created Office of Safe Schools. By July 1st, superintendents must designate a district school safety specialist, and by September 1st, each district must establish a threat assessment team that will meet monthly to discuss potential threats to the teachers, students, or school. The upgrades are all part of the state's response to last month's school massacre in Broward County. Meanwhile, Sarasota County Sheriff Tom Knight wants a decision today from the school district. ABC7's Marla Spence has more details.
Spring break may be here, but that isn't stopping Sheriff Tom Knight from wanting a decision by today on which school safety plan will be implemented in Sarasota County schools. Two options were developed by the sheriff's office following the Parkland shooting and Governor Rick Scott's signage of the Marjorie Douglas High School Public Safety Act, requiring Florida schools to enhance security on school campuses.
This law is etched in stone. There is no wiggle to the law. They've got to accept it, that the rules of engagement have changed with this type of laws, and that the governor is not asking the school districts to get law enforcement on these campuses. He's telling the school district to get law enforcement officers on these campuses.
The sheriff's office is urging decision makers at the school board to select one of two options. Those options include putting school resource deputies in the 12 remaining unstaffed Sarasota County elementary schools. With this option, deputies would also be certified and provide mentorship to students. It would also require the hiring of 14 additional school resource deputies, and it's estimated to cost $2.1 million. Option 2 would only provide security while school is in session and students are on campus, and deputies wouldn't be required to mentor students. Deputies would also be fully certified law enforcement officers and receive training specifically focused on provisions of the Marjorie Douglas High School Public Safety Act. This would cost $1.1 million to start if selected, and this option would also save the school district more than $961,000. So either option would require 14 new deputies to be hired and trained, which could take 12 to 18 months. Sheriff Knight says implementing a school safety plan is no longer an option, it's a requirement by the state law. I'm Marla Spence reporting for ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Marla, thank you. Hurricane season starts June 1st, and Sarasota County officials are meeting now with their counterparts in Charlotte County about getting access to emergency shelters during evacuations. Charlotte County will also help train Sarasota County workers to help staff the shelters. During Irma last September, there was a lack of shelters in the Venice area. Coming up, we'll have information about a week-long blood drive in Sarasota, but first, here's a look at tonight's national headlines.
This week, amid new turmoil and turnover, President Trump signs a monster spending bill, and he's not happy.
I will never sign another bill like this again.
What's in it? What's not? What does it mean for you? World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.
Don't allow your weight to threaten your health or control your future. Excess weight or obesity can cause emotional and physical health risks. But you can take control. The Your Weight Matters campaign offers free resources and tips to help you measure and understand your weight. Take the Your Weight Matters Challenge. The free toolkit prepares you to speak with a healthcare provider about your weight. Your weight does matter. Take the challenge and take control today.
Selfless service is the guiding principle of every Army National Guard soldier. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. To be an Army National Guard soldier is to serve something greater than yourself. Learn more at NationalGuard.com.
I just had a very educational ride with Nina.
Did you learn anything?
Where do I begin? So all this stuff goes into a safety check.
Yep.
It's a long list.
It's important stuff.
Test the smoke detector.
Yep.
Check the breaker box.
Yep.
Meter the GFCIs.
Ground fault circuit interrupters.
Why do that?
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Nina, you make it look easy.
Thanks, but don't do it yourself.
Who's your guy?
We are problem solvers striving for answers. Relevancy on every platform. We are driven to create content that's compelling, engaging, where it matters. We are neighbors that care about solutions, believers in making a difference, leaders innovating in an exciting era of multimedia, reaching to always be the gold standard in our evolving landscape. We are Raycom Media. Find your opportunity today.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
A 4-day blood drive begins today at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. SMH needs 800 pints of blood per month, but only gets around 50 pints per month at their blood drives. Those who donate will get a free Tervis tumbler, a free wellness check, and be eligible for raffle prizes, including an Amazon Echo.
Well, we keep track, of course, of blood usage, and we're seeing an uptick in the need for blood, and specifically platelets, as Sarasota Memorial is ramping up to open their new cancer treatment center.
SMH will be drawing blood tomorrow from 8 to 5 and in the first floor auditorium on Wednesday and Thursday from 10 to 7. Be sure to bring a photo ID if you plan on doing that. I always encourage people to give blood if they can because it saves lives.
It does, very important. We have some awesome weather coming up for spring break, and an awesome evening too. If you're heading out in the town, you're not going to need a jacket, you're not going to need a wrap. It's going to be beautiful with temperatures in the 70s all evening long. And even better news than that, the 7-day shows we're continuing to have this kind of weather, although a bit breezy at times, through the end of the week. Next chance of rain, Friday night, Saturday.
Okay, looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Steve. And thanks for joining us. World News Tonight with David Muir is next. We'll see you again at 11. Have a good night.